Hi guys, Stuart Bingham here. Joe and Tom from Snooker Loopy podcast has asked me to do the chorus from the Snooker Loopy. That's our we. As you can see, I can do the Dennis Taylor and Willie Thorne version all in one go. I apologise firstly, but here goes. Snooker Loopy, nuts are we, me and him and them and me. We'll show you what we can do with a load of balls and a snooker cue. Put the reds and screw back for the yellow, green, brown, blue, pink and black. Snooker Loopy, nuts are we, we're all snooker loopy. Cheers guys.
Hello and welcome to day 9 of the Crucible World Championship 2026. I definitely remembered that. I definitely didn't have to ask Joe before we started recording because it all melds into one. But my name is Tom Mayhew. I'm joined as always by my very good friend. He's got a license to thrill. It's Joe Hannard.
Very good evening, Hazel. Good evening, everybody. And welcome to the Snooker Loopy podcast and another one of our daily roundups of the World Championship. We've had lots of lovely comments and emails about our coverage throughout the world. And well, if yesterday was Super Saturday, today has certainly been a very stressful Sunday. If you're a Ronnie O'Sullivan fan, I think that would be the words I would give for it.
It was nervy. It felt very, very nervy. The evening session that I'm sure most of our listeners and most of our viewers will be watching was, of course, the Class of 92 clash, Ronnie against John. And, Ronnie was clearly frustrated by the end of it. And you could sense why, because it did feel like there was nerves in the air.
It slip a bit, didn't he? It was... Yeah, it was tough. I mean, you know, he's 9-5 up and he'd got the snookers against John Higgins that he needed. Well, it was 9-4 at the time, I think, and Ronnie could have went 10-4. And he missed the green by an absolute whisker when he probably would have cleaned up. John made it 9-5 at that point. Then the next frame Ronnie was in, made a break of 55 to go potentially 10-5 up. Missed again late on in the break. John Higgins it didn't clear the table straight away, but eventually got over the line. And then it was 9-6. And then the final frame of the session, John Higgins was in. Goes in off. Ronnie looks like he's clearing up, and then it goes wrong. Eventually, there's a bit of safety back and forth. John Higgins gets away with one, and Ronnie swerves around the green, pots the red. The cue ball goes in, and it's all over. 9-7. I mean, it's how John's got out of that 9-7. I do not know, but Ronnie. I think it is a good job that he's got at least a bit of a later start tomorrow at 1 o'clock to try and get over that, because that's going to be tough to take. If anybody can take it, Ronnie can, but I guess if you gave him 9-7 at the start of the match, he'd snapped your hand off for it. So, yeah. But
It's going to be
a session of snooker.
It's going to be a big opening few frames, isn't it? Tomorrow, I think.
Yeah, I think if Ronnie, you know, he's just got to keep sharing the frames at the end of the day, which is what he was doing really successfully tonight, until there was just that one frame where he missed on 55. Otherwise, it would have been 10-6 and, you know, a shared session. He only needs to share the frames tomorrow, or at the very least win 4 frames, you know, even if John wins 5, if Ronnie wins 4 of them, he's through. So that's sort of what he's got to hang his hopes on. I don't think John's playing well enough to blow Ronnie off the table tomorrow, and I think Ronnie's still playing well. Just John played slightly better tonight than he did yesterday, and I think that probably made the difference. And 1 or 2 frames going John's way, that probably yesterday went Ronnie's way. So it's kind of balanced itself out, I guess.
Yeah, I think the session definitely went Ding John's way.
Ding John Higgins' way, yeah. Yeah, but I mean, what a day. Obviously, I was there at the Crucible in the morning, Tom. It was great pleasure to once again go to that famous Theatre of Dreams. And, yeah, it was amazing to be there, to witness the Chinese battle between Zhao Xintong and Ding Junhui. And I thought for a minute Ding was on the way back.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't as comfortable as the scoreline would suggest for Xintong, but I think he just had a bit too much for Ding this time around. But Ding, he held his own for most of it. I think he put in a very respectable performance, and I don't think Xintong is the steamrolling monster everyone was building him up to be. He's not
saying he is. They're still saying he is. It's as if we're watching a different championship. It's really crazy how much the sort of media are getting behind him. I don't know whether it's sort of overcompensating for sort of all the controversies that have gone on in Zhao Xintong's career. Maybe it is, and I can see why. And obviously they want a feel-good story, considering the farce of the Saudi Arabian Masters, which I'm sure we'll talk about in a bit. But I mean, Xintong wasn't great today. He did get a century, but I mean, Ding Junhui nearly threw away the first frame. That was absolutely hilarious. How he just kept snookering himself. And I mean, it was his own worst enemy, because if he wins that frame comfortably and it doesn't go on for nearly an hour, then probably has a bit more momentum. It was 9-8, but it still felt like he had a mountain to climb.
And what was it like for you being sat watching it? Because obviously it's a very different experience from us watching at home. But I mean, just take us through all the little bits we might not have seen. Was there any sort of hidden Rob Walkerisms we missed, or anything? Anything?
It's funny you should say that, Tom, because there was a certain Stuart Bingham lingering in the Crucible. He was lurking in the Crucible. Before the action, he was talking to Hazel. So we were thinking, all right, Stuart Bingham's going to be on the punditry team, or he's going to be in the commentary team. As far as I know, he hasn't been on the BBC at all today, so I don't know what that was all about. But yeah, he was lurking around the Crucible. More on Stuart Bingham later. I'm
not sure about saying he's lurking, like he's the Phantom of the Opera or something.
Well, Rob sort of appeared at one point, and then you could tell he was like looking at Hazel, and he was thinking, how am I meant to start talking to Hazel? And then he goes over and he puts his hand on her shoulder. It's just his thing. His thing is, and we counted, and there was at least 6 people that he put his hands on their shoulders as he talked to various different like cameramen and crew and backstage people, which was quite funny. And then obviously, he introduced Gary Wilson and Ken, who were doing the punditry, and one of the crowd goes, "Go on, Gary," and Ken then quips, "Nice that you've brought some family with you, Gary."
Nice. So, well done, Ken.
It was great. And then all of that sort of goes on. Players are obviously introduced into the arena. Interestingly, obviously, Wu Yiza and Mark Selby were introduced first, and they were having a proper good old chat and chuckle while the others were being introduced, which I thought was nice. So yeah, that was fun. But yeah, I think what struck me probably more this time than ever before was how much you can just sort of see every little expression from the players. And Ding was very annoyed at himself at most points today, and just seeing him sort of like smirk at himself, and I think he hit himself in the head with his cue at one point. It was really quite fascinating. But yeah, it was a great session of snooker. Obviously, would have loved to have seen Ding make it a bit closer, but by the end, something seemed a bit off with him. I know he was sort of rubbing his eyes a lot. I don't know whether he was having some vision problems, but he was really struggling towards the end. But yeah, obviously then the divider comes up, and got to see the rest of the Wu Yize and Mark Selby session, and Wu played really well this morning and throughout the whole day. I mean, as we're recording this, he's 9-6 up on Mark Selby, which I don't think many people would have backed that scoreline, to be honest with you. And I know I was backing Wu Yize, but would I have seriously backed him all the way against Mark Selby? I'm not sure I would have. It's been a very good performance.
Is it making you feel confident about your prediction then? Do you think he could go all the way?
Well, he could do. He looked very comfortable out there. Whether he's got enough to beat Judd in the quarterfinal, and then potentially, who is it, Barry Hawkins or Mark Allen? I'd fancy him to beat both of those two. So I guess it's between him and Judd Trump if he does make it to the quarterfinal.
Still very, very close between Hossein and Judd, of course. Is it 9-7, I believe? So
yeah, I feel like Hossein has missed a trick, really. He was 7-6 up, of course. Judd was struggling a bit. Judd seemed to find something in the last 3 frames to take it 9-7. Obviously, again, much like the Higgins and Ronnie match, I think the start of that session tomorrow is really important. If Hossein can, win 3 of the first 4 frames, 10-all, and everything to play for.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's possible. It's possible. You never really know. But yeah, Ding and Zhao was the only match that finished today. So we also had more of Chris Wakelin against Neil Robertson, and it looks like Neil's pulled away a little bit there,
and
which is probably what most people would have expected.
There was
I guess
a controversial moment in that match. I think it was it maybe 7-6 at the time to Robertson, and Chris Wakelin was 42 ahead and potted a red and was called foul on the yellow. So his cue brushed past the yellow, according to the referee, but Chris was pretty adamant that he didn't hit it. Replays are inconclusive, but I would like to think that Chris wouldn't be unsportsmanlike. And the vast majority of snooker players would always call a foul on themselves. So bit of an odd situation, really.
We don't really have snooker VAR, do we?
No, but I think the referee can always request a sort of video replay if they want one. But obviously, it's very, very difficult to see that. If the camera wasn't right in on the cue ball, and the yellow, then it would be very difficult to see. So, yeah, a massive call from the referee, and it seemed to throw Chris Wakelin off after that, because he did pot the red when he fouled. So, probably would have went on to win that frame, make it 7-all, and wow, it could have been a very different match. But as it is, it's 10-6 to Neil Robertson, and just 3 frames needed tomorrow.
Well, I'd like to see Chris make it a bit closer, but yeah, I mean, it'll be the first time Neil's kind of had a good run at Crucible for what feels like ages. So that's also nice to see if he does make it.
Yeah, well, the last time Neil Robertson made it to the quarterfinal, let me have a little gander for you.
I believe it was 1986.
Yeah, he got 3 quarterfinals in a row from 2019 to 2021, but he hasn't made the one table setup since 2014. So, wow, that's huge. That is huge. But yeah, some great snooker on display today. And I think it's going to be a dramatic Monday. We've got 3 matches at 9-7. I think Mark Selby has possibly just made it 9-7 in that match, or is about to. Yeah, he's on 73 and Wu's on 1. Only 51 left on the table. So yeah, that's going to be 9-7. Obviously, the Higgins O'Sullivan match is 9-7, and the Judd Hussein match is 9-7. So there could be 3 very close matches there. And who knows? Chris Wakeling could make a comeback against Neil Robertson, but it could be a manic Monday at the Crucible potentially.
I'm loving this alliteration. I'm loving this, Joe. This is beautiful work.
Don't know what I'm going to go for Tuesday. A titillating Tuesday, perhaps.
Yeah, make sure you don't say that wrong.
But yeah, a couple of other things about the Crucible. There's a nice little tribute to John Virgo in there, book of condolences, and sort of is one of his waistcoats sort of in a display case. And they've got some great display cases in there. Actually, they've got Dennis Taylor's glasses, some gloves from Jan Verhaas, or potentially some severed hands. The way that they're stood up, it could well be, or as I theorised, it could be Jan Verhaas just sitting under the table with his hands up. Which is why he's not reffing.
I really hope he's just under there, just occasionally waving to people.
Yeah, they've got the famous towel of Mark Williams that he wrapped around him. They've got Zhao Xintong's flag from last year. So, yeah, some really cool display cases. One thing, though, Tom, that's very disappointing is the merch. They've all that is in the Crucible now is the WST website merch. That is all that's in the Crucible, which is a real shame. However, all of their old merch with their little, the fridge magnets and all of that is now in the Winter Gardens. So you can still get all of the sort of tatty merch like fridge magnets and whatever, and something which I will show on the podcast tomorrow because I haven't got it on me right now. But something very exciting that I did pick up from the merchandise. So
I look forward to that. It's a shame that it's good that WST are finally doing their own merch, but at the moment I think we've spoken about it before that it's a bit sort of soulless and it's not very exciting. It's just literally it feels like someone who's not very fun has designed it and it's just gone, oh yeah, let's just put 147 on there, and there's nothing that really sort of stands out and makes me go, I really want that. It all just feels like, that's okay. There's nothing that, I don't really care about having WST on a hat. I don't know why I would want that. Since 1927 and all of that. Yeah, just really weird. But great day out at the Crucible. Also, they have set up a sort of midnight lounge is what they've called it. So, of course, Midnight are one of the sponsors of the tournament. They do the Midnight Maximum when you're in there. If there's a maximum, somebody in there will win an amount of money. Goes up all the way to the final. But about a 5-minute walk away from the Crucible, they've got a sort of section of a bar, if you like, where you can redeem a free pint if you're a ticket holder. Tom's eyes light up. There's a professional snooker table in there. I think I saw Phil Haig on the tables there actually when I went in. And just a sort of nice place to sit and watch the snooker. Interestingly, as I was walking in, who's walking out the other way but Stuart Bingham? So, as I sort of nodded my head, he was like, "You all right?" As we went past. So I did have a slight small talk with Stuart Bingham on the way past. Did you not get a photo?
No, I I don't like bothering the player. I mean, I saw quite a lot of players today. I saw Lee Walker twice.
Well, yeah, but
I saw
does he count?
Saw Radzi. Saw Barry Hawkins in the downstairs of the Crucible, just in the foyer. He was there. Barry Hawkins just sort of walked past, but they're always looking busy. I don't really want to disturb them. Saw Mark Allen as well. So yeah, quite a lot of famous snooker faces rounding about.
I think you should be more excited. I want you to be more like a One Direction fan has just seen Harry Styles. I want you to be like, oh my god, it's Barry Hawkins, and be really overcome.
I think if it was like Sean Murphy, I'd ask. I don't know.
What do you mean? No way is Sean Murphy more excited than Stuart Bingham. I'm not having this.
Well, yeah, but I've already got like a picture with Stuart Bingham. That's the difference. I've got 2 of Stuart Bingham's balls in my possession. So yeah, yeah. Well, perhaps Tom, if you go next year, you can do all of these things. But Tom keeps chickening out of going to the Crucible.
I do. I think maybe next year for the big 5-0. I mean, saying that, this year is technically the 50th running of the championship, so it's not the 50th anniversary, but it's technically the 50th one, and they've not really made much of that, even though you'd think that is also as exciting as the 50th anniversary for me.
Yeah, and of course next year is the 100th year of the World Championship, so yeah, really, really cool that sort of syncs up. One thing that was quite hilarious in the Crucible was that they had a loop of Rob Walker sort of talking, like in a museum when you sort of go into a room and you can just hear some voice. There was like a loop of Rob Walker talking about how the Crucible stayed until 2045, and it was about a 2-minute speech, but then it just was looping, and it was just like being in a museum. So,
was it definitely a loop, or was Rob Walker just in the corner with a little microphone saying it again and again?
He may well have been. Also, pretty crazy, I bumped into somebody that's in the Hazel Grove Snooker League. They were in the same session that I was playing, and his words, and I quote, were, as he came out the session, he was like, well, I saw nothing in there that I haven't seen from you, Joe. So there you go.
Oh!
So, and he sort of shouted down, he's like, oh, is it Joe? I was like, yeah, and we shook hands, and then he said that, so people around must have been thinking, God, who the hell's this guy?
No, I think people must have been thinking, well, obviously it's Joe Hannard. We know he's great. Everyone knows who you are, Joe.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, great day, and part 1 of my Crucible journey. Will Tom make the pilgrimage up to the final day on Sunday? Who knows? Who knows whether Tom will be there, but Joe will be there on the evening, cheering on, hopefully, Ronnie O'Sullivan versus Wu Yizza. That would be pretty good. Mm-hmm. I'd be feeling pretty chuffed with myself if that was the case, and it would be a very good final as well.
Mm-hmm. I think it's still possible. It's still possible. You're still in with a chance.
I mean, they're both 9-7 up, so really, it's absolutely more than possible. So we got to be positive going into it, but yeah, looking forward to the snooker coming up this week. Of course, Manic Monday tomorrow, and then the quarterfinals are all done in 2 days, Tuesday and Wednesday this week. It's the shortest or joint shortest round of the whole competition with the final. So yeah, that's always an interesting turnaround on Tuesday and Wednesday.
And the other massive news, which we briefly mentioned earlier, is of course the loss of the 4th major, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, it's all a bit of an embarrassment for WST, isn't it? With the Saudi Arabian Masters cancelling its deal 2 years into a 10-year deal. I don't know how that's going to affect Ronnie as well, because Ronnie's of course got his own sort of deal with the Saudis, and he's got the academy over there, and yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Obviously, it's a big money event, equal money with the World Championship, so to replace that is going to be tricky. Obviously, we've had the good news that the China Open's returning in August. So that's always quite a big prize fund for that tournament. And obviously we had the news that the World Championship is going up by 25% next year as well. So maybe between that makes up for it. But the likes of Robertson and Trump won't be too happy that they're going to lose 500,000 points, especially Trump, because he loses 500,000 in August. And that's going to drop him probably away from world number one. And that, depending on how Zhao Xintong does the rest of the week, we could have a new world number one by September.
To be fair, I wouldn't mind that. I think it's with, of course, the Saudi Arabian Masters being worth so much money, it feels a bit absurd that, you know, by Trump winning that, he was kind of almost impossible to catch. But then it's weird to have someone who's not won the World Championship or been in the final or anything like that be number one because he's won a title with the same prize money. So it makes a bit more sense for me for whoever wins the World Championship to at least be in the top two or at least be near number one. It's a bit strange for me that a player could effectively go out in the first round of the World Championship 2 years in a row but still be world number one because they won a tournament in Saudi Arabia that was only watched by about 20 people.
Yeah, and Jack Klosowski in, you know, a full Arab outfit. So
that's why it was cancelled, because of Jack Klosowski.
Yeah, he offended them. Yeah. So yeah, that'll be you know, interesting to see what happens going forward. Will we still have the Jasper Carrots Golden Balls event? You know, who knows? Who knows? It might well be that Ronnie's 153 remains the record forever.
No one would actually count the Golden Ball thing as a thing. That's the event that should have been cancelled first, because that's an absolute farce. The idea of the Golden Ball, I really, you know, I don't see the point. If you want to do that, do Snooker Plus or something established as a genuine rule set that would actually impact the whole match, not just a ball you bring out at the end. But yeah, embarrassing really for WST with their whole talk of the fourth major and all those things. They've kind of just been, you know, not entirely their fault. Obviously, a lot of stuff going on in the Middle East at the moment. But I think it is an important thing for not just sports in general, but a lot of companies who went heavily in on, you know, funding and investment from the Middle East, who now probably have to go, oh no, hold on, we can't rely on that, which is always the case. You always need different hands and different pies. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the China Open being back. That's got a real history, hasn't it?
It's strange that tournament hasn't been back sooner. But yeah, good to see it back, and I think I've seen a couple of people say I think that one probably deserves to be the fourth major, if anything, because that as you say is an established tournament. You know, I guess it probably would have happened maybe for the Welsh Open if it hadn't become a home nations event. Obviously, the Champion of Champions has been a tournament that's been talked about as a fourth major. So, I mean, I'm quite happy with the Triple Crown. I've said for a long time they need to go to a very similar style to what they do with tennis, and they need to have a sort of a Grand Slam level, and then the sort of Masters level, and then, you know, you get into your more minor ranked events. I've said that for a long time. I still think that that's a system that they should go to, and that would avoid situations like what we've just seen with Saudi. So, yeah, I mean, be good to see different events on the calendar next season. I don't think all of the home nations events have been confirmed yet, so we'll see if they're on the calendar next year. And obviously going forward, you know, China Open returning, I guess, reduces the chances of the 2029 World Championship being played in China, because that would be another event in China, which seems unlikely, I think. But
You never know. I guess it's where whoever offers Barry Hearn the most money.
Well, Barry has come out and said he wants it to be in the UK, but whether he'll be swayed by money, we can't really say. But I do think they know that especially after this experience with Saudi Arabia, I think they'd be stupid to be looking for outside funding, especially because somewhere like Saudi Arabia could say they want to do it and then pull out of 2 months' notice or something. And they've already had problems with like the Kazoo sponsorship, where they sponsored loads of snooker events, they went under, probably because they spent so much money on those Kazoo umbrellas. I think that's what did it, Joe.
Yeah. I mean, they couldn't give them away quick enough, those Kazoo umbrellas. But I mean, can you imagine if they'd agreed to move the World Championship to Saudi, which was the talk about a year ago? So, yeah, it's not a good look for snooker. Luckily, there's enough good action on the table that takes away from it for now. But I know there'll be a lot of players, and I guess it affects even things like tour survival. If players got 20 grand in that event a few years ago for qualifying for it, that's a huge amount to come off for those players teetering on the edge of the 64. So, yeah, there could be some huge ramifications on the back of it. And as I said, the only good bit of news is that the China Open is back on the back of it, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, it's good to see that one come back, because it's, I prefer events with history and not just events with money who try and buy history, which is what they were trying to do with the Saudi Arabian Masters. But
it was basically the Man City of snooker, wasn't it? I suppose.
I don't think I can talk too much about that as a Chelsea fan, and yourself as a Newcastle fan. Maybe we can't really.
Yes, indeed.
We can't really take that shot.
Let's move on. Joe. Let's move on. So yeah, I thought we'd maybe do a little bit of Fancheng email. We got a couple of nice emails today. So one thing was from Matt from Middlesbrough, who we very often hear on the podcast. He says, "Good evening, Hazel. Good evening, Radzi. Get out of Vicky's dressing room, Radzi."
Radzi, what's he doing in there?
You guys had an interesting chat about the commentary team on the last pod, and I have to agree and disagree. I don't mind Stephen Hallworth. I didn't realise it was him at first. Don't think his accent is really similar to... Or don't you think his accent is really similar to Smurf 360's? I'm not sure I do. I think I have to disagree on that. But, yeah, I suppose he's got a very similar pitch of voice, hasn't he? But... yeah, I don't know what you think about that, Tom.
I've never heard them in the same commentary box, so I can't really tell. That's how I'd need to tell, is having them both chatting to each other. But I don't know. I still don't think. I think Hallworth's not got a massively distinctive voice. He's not got a regional accent or anything like that. Why on my Discord, Joe? Is this just
well? Hang on. So, it said, as for the others, Hendry is always incredibly insightful on commentary. Sadly, the likes of Perry and Rob Walker don't work for me, and especially Lee Walker, who is terrible. He could cure insomnia with his commentary. Another little ginger nugget I noticed today. I was watching Joe's favourite player, Judd Trump versus Hossein Vafai, and I'm not sure Joe will have seen... I have seen this. Given he was at the Crucible, but for the first time, Dennis Taylor was in the studio as a pundit, and I really enjoyed it. I don't know if it's new for this year, but I've never seen this before. Sadly, he was sat next to Lee, puts me to sleep Walker. Anyway, I'm really enjoying the pods this year. Attached is a leaked image of John Higgins for your enjoyment. Yeah, obviously Dennis was punditing today. There wasn't a BBC Two show this afternoon. So yeah, Tom's enjoying himself a little bit there. What were your thoughts of Dennis in the punditry box? Tom?
No, it was great. It was great to see him in there, and it's lovely always to see his lovely little face on TV. Dennis, I think he should be there more often when he's not doing commentary. But then it's because he's so good at commentary. It's why you don't see him in the mandatory box.
I mean, he used to do it years and years ago, didn't he? But I think I've seen him maybe, twice, 3 times over my time watching snooker in the studio, but it's very rare these days that he's there.
It feels like they're doing more sort of a rotation of players. So someone might do mandatory one day, then they'll do commentary the next day, that kind of vibe. So, most players seem to do both jobs now, apart from Steve Davis, who we've not heard in the commentary box for many years.
He was commentating today, actually. He was on the Robertson and Wakeland match, I think.
Oh, wow. Okay, I didn't hear that. Oh, fantastic. Well, good to hear him back in there. Was he enjoying it?
No, sorry, it was Hussein and Judd that he was on, but yeah.
Oh, okay, well, good.
Yeah.
Glad to hear it. He's back.
It was him and Stephen Hendry.
Enough about this serious talk, Joe. What is this picture of John Higgins?
Well,
can the people at home see this right now?
I will. I guess I will put it on the screen, Tom, and show people what they're missing here, because this. I'll tell you what, Hazel. This is quite crazy. But there you go. We've got a picture of John Higgins, and would you like to explain, Tom, what is on the screen?
It is John Higgins in school, surrounded by Chinese children. I believe it's him playing the role of Zhang Anda in the upcoming movie. That I think the film's just going to be called Anda, because we all know he's kind of Madonna level. We just need one name, just Anda, and here's John Higgins. And I mean, I think what makes it for me not only is John's face, but the fact that the other students are all looking at him and smiling as if he said something really funny.
Yeah, and he does look very proud of himself, doesn't he? Look at him. I mean, yeah. And can you see the words in the background? We've got study, hard work, perseverance, success. And, well, John Higgins definitely seems to be a champion of that.
Well, a little known fact, Joe, is that John Higgins actually has those words tattooed on his back.
In Chinese as well.
He does, yeah, he does.
Fancy that. So, yeah, as predicted, Tom, people have been crazy, particularly Matt, and he's clearly got ChatGPT to produce that image. I mean, maybe it's his Photoshop skills, but...
No, I don't think he has, Joe. I think that is a real shot of John Higgins doing his film.
Yeah, behind the scene. I mean, he did say it was leaked, to be fair. He did say it was leaked.
We will take Matt's word. We will trust him that this is a real leaked shot of Anda, the upcoming movie.
Yeah. Thanks, Matt, as always. We also got a message from a newbie to our Fanjing email, Zayad Bagarib. I think I might have said that right. Whose subject is Ding John Wei. So anyway, good evening, Hazel. Good evening, Joe. Good evening, Tom.
Good evening, Zayad.
I am Zayad from Singapore, also known as Papans147 in your YouTube comment section. I first discovered the Snooker Loopy podcast sometime during the 2026 Masters. Not sure why I didn't subscribe right away. Perhaps I was simply too disappointed when Barry Hawkins didn't win. Fortunately, you reappeared in my YouTube feed this week. I've since listened to every single day of your Crucible coverage, and I've begun to explore your back catalogue as well. In my opinion, this is simply the best podcast for snooker lovers, hands down. Thank you very much for that. We agree, by the way. We have a whale of a time recording this, don't we, Tom? It's one of our best things that we do.
Well, like literally, yeah, just a behind the curtain thing. Like yesterday, we were like, well, log on, we'll do a quick one just because Joe had to go to the Crucible. And I think the video call lasted about 2 hours because we're just having such a nice time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because you guys see about an hour of it, but either side of that, we're just chatting away snooker things. Usually something, John Virgo commentating in WSC 11 related, and we'll have a great time. But anyway, you've made me laugh so hard with your unhealthy, accurate Dennis Taylor impressions. May you continue to grow well beyond your first 1,000 subscribers. It would be most thoroughly deserved. I'm sorry, Joe, that you've just witnessed Zhao Xintong's 39 dismissal of Ding Junhui. I think that we were all hoping it would go down to the wire. Personally, I would really have loved to have seen an inspired Ding claim the victory. Alas, it was not to be. I'm going to be at the Crucible from Thursday the 30th of April onwards. He's got tickets for Friday the 1st of May at 7 o'clock and Monday the 4th of May at 7 o'clock. Oh, so he's got the final session of the final. That's very good. That's very good. If I see either of you around, I'll be sure to say hello. Please do. Perhaps we can even have a pint or a coffee at the old Head of Steam if you're up for it. I probably won't have time. Tom is perfectly available if he comes.
I'm not going. Do not promise I'm going to be there. I am not going to be there.
Yeah, I'm just making sure that Tom doesn't chicken out next year, basically. But yeah, please, if you see me about, do say hello, and that's to anybody as well. But yeah, I'm more than happy to speak to people. I want to share the following two things with you both because I genuinely think they would bring you great delight, though I'm unsure how to mention them without sounding self-promotional. I'm going to do it anyway. Speaking of Dennis Taylor impressions, here's a video of me singing Snooker Loopy outside the Crucible on the morning of Mark Williams versus Zhao Xintong last year. Well, that is a future cue the music if ever I saw one, Tom. Are you aware that WST launched a Fan of the Month scheme a couple of months ago? Somehow I managed to clinch the first ever Fan of the Month award in February 2026. Strangely, I've not noticed a March 2026 Fan of the Month announcement yet, though perhaps I simply missed it. Among the many WST newsletter emails, I would just love to know who my fellow fans of the months are, as we probably all need similar kind of psychiatric help. As a result, I'm actually going to receive a behind-the-scenes tour of the Crucible before Friday's semi-final evening session, which is absolutely bonkers. Do you get a +1?
Can we come? Can we just
+2?
Yeah.
I'll try to take some videos. Perhaps I'll send them your way. Yes, please do. We will absolutely show them on the podcast. Anyway, I just wanted to introduce myself to you both. I don't have many friends in my life who are anywhere nearly as obsessed with the delightful and ridiculous world of snooker as I am. Your podcast has given me the feeling that you are both my snooker-loving friends, even though we've never met. So thank you guys for doing what you do. It's simply wonderful. You are more than welcome. It is our pleasure. Perhaps someday I shall regale you both with other stories of my misadventures in snooker fandom, such as the night I went out dancing with Rob Walker at Albert's Shed in Telford. And there's a picture here, Tom, of Rob Walker himself. I will send it your way as I am showing the viewers this wonderful picture of Roberto Walker. Let me just... let me see if I can send it to Tom.
I think we need to have a Dennis Taylor good evening Zayad. I think he's deserved that.
Good evening Zayad.
There we go.
Or he would probably say Ziado. Is that his name? Hazel.
Good evening.
Ware.
Good evening Zola.
Zola. Yeah.
Oh, look at this picture. Wow. Wowee, he went on the lash with Rob Walker. Brutal. Yeah.
I mean, it's quite telling that Rob has a pint twice the size of Zayed there. Enjoy the remainder of the championship, guys. I'll be listening to every episode with a smile on my face. Cheers, Zola. So there you go. Thank you very much for that. Honestly, kind words mean a lot to us, and yeah, be happy to say hello to you if we bump into each other. Obviously, I'm there for the final on Sunday. So I will be rounding about Sheffield at some point on Sunday. But mainly in the Crucible on Sunday night. So if you see me around there, feel free to say hello. But yeah. Yeah, really looking forward to that. And yeah, thank you for your emails, everybody. If you want to get in touch, you know where the links are down below. So we've come to the point of the episode, Tom, where, as promised, there would be a quiz wakeling, because every year, Tom, I get myself a World Championship programme. Ooh. And in the World Championship programme, there's always a quiz. Now, Rachel did the very kind job of quizzing me on the way home today. And I will tell you, Tom, that I got 16 out of 20 correct. Now, to make this interesting, because it's quiz wakeling, I will give you 2 points for every correct answer, which could mean that you take the top spot once again. Your current lead, well, you're currently on 34, and that was your knowledge of nicknames. So, there's 20 questions, and, well, I will just quiz you on all of them, and we'll see how many you get, and we'll count your break as we go along, so no misrule in this one. We will answer all 20. So, Tom, to celebrate the announcement that the Halo World Championship will remain at Sheffield's Crucible for at least another 20 years, let's put your knowledge of the Theatre of Dreams to the test.
Oh, no. Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes, Joe.
Let's go. So, question 1. Play along at home as well. 2 points for every correct answer. What is the name of the individual responsible for originally taking the World Championship to the Crucible?
Oh, God, it's in my head. It's in my head.
He says this every day. He says this every day, does he?
Well, I've got a lot of nonsense in my head, and this is...
He does, to be fair.
There's so much nonsense on top of nonsense.
He's also got Rob Walker staring at him right now with Zayad next to him.
I know. I want to go for a drink with Rob Walker more than anything in the world. Like, oh, that'd be hilarious. I can't... Did you get it right, this one, Joe?
I did, yeah.
Is it a player? It's not a player, is it?
No comment.
Joe, please help me, Joe. I need to win.
We can come back to it if you want, Tom.
Yeah, come back to it. Because it's in there. It's in there somewhere.
So, number 2. The first Crucible 147 came in 1983. Who made it?
That was Cliff Orban.
Correct. 2. How many 147s have been made in the final stages since the World Championship was moved to Sheffield? I.e. at the Crucible.
Okay, so not just the final. Okay. Let's see.
Now, I did get this right, actually.
9?
Incorrect. It was 15.
Nah.
15. Yeah.
What?
So 3 each for Ronnie and Hendry. Selby obviously got one. Kyron got one. Robertson got one. Higgins got one. So that's 10. Mark Williams got one back in 2003, I think. Then you've got Cliff and Jimmy. So that's 13. Ali Carter, that's 14. And
Mark Allen.
Mark Allen, of course, which is the one I was there for. And that was the one that I forgot there at the end. But there you go. So 15. Okay, right, on to question 4. So you are still on 2 points. Ronnie made the fastest 147 in snooker history in 1997. How long did it take him?
I believe it was originally 5 minutes 20. I believe they then kind of reviewed it down to 5 minutes 8 seconds.
Correct. 4.
Is that double points for that?
No. Who was the Rockets' opponent for that famous break? You should know this, Tom.
We
talked about it yesterday.
Was it Michelangelo? It was Mick Price.
Mick Price, correct. 6. Which Lord of the Rings actor appeared in a performance on the theatre's opening night back in 1971?
Wow. I believe that would be. He's come all the way from Mordor. That's why we call him the Grey. It's Gandalf. Ian McKellen.
Well done. Nice one.
Get in.
Yeah, I didn't get that one. I said Christopher Lee, but I did say Ian McKellen second. So what's that? 8, I think. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I think that's 18.
No, it's not. 8. In 2006, Ian McCulloch was a member of the top 16 in the rankings, but missed out on a place at the Crucible. Why?
Because Sean Murphy was the defending champion, but was ranked 22, I believe.
Very good. Very good. 10.
Poor old Ian McCulloch, by the way. You'd be gutted, wouldn't you?
I think he might have got to the semi-finals that year, you know, off the top of my head. He did one year. Don't know if it was that year. There have been 3 deciders in Crucible finals in 1985, 1994, and 2002. They were all officiated by the same referee. Can you name him?
Is he called John Williams?
Correct. I think that one came up recently, didn't it? 12. In which year did Judd Trump beat John Higgins to win his first and only world title to date?
The first final was 2011. God, let's go through them. It's hard because they all sort of meld into one a bit. But if 2024 Xintong, then it was Kyron, then it was Brissell, 2 was Ronnie. I'm actually not sure, but I'm going to guess 2021.
Wow, I thought that you were shoo-in for that one. 2019.
I don't care enough about Judd to remember.
So we're still on 12. Last year saw Luca Brissell travel to and from Sheffield using a private jet. Which footballer helped him to arrange the jet?
What?
Yeah, I didn't know this one either.
What a stupid question. How would I know that? Why would I know that? I don't know. Eden Hazard.
It was Leandro Trossard. Which Welsh player scored 167 points in a single frame during the first round match in 1999?
Dominic Dale?
Correct. Well done. 14. How many Crucible finals has Jimmy White lost?
6.
16. Steve Davis won the first of his 6 world titles in 1981. Who did he beat in the final?
I don't know this, so it's a pure guess. I'm just going to guess Terry Griffiths.
Sadly not. Doug Mountjoy. How many times has Mark Selby won the World Championship?
4.
18.
18 times? Bloody hell.
At the conclusion of this year's event, how many times will the World Championship trophy have been contested at the Crucible?
50.
Correct. 20. Nigel Bond defeated Stephen Hendry 10-9 in a first-round tie, which went down to a respotted black in the decider. Which year did this match take place?
I don't think Hendry was defending champion. So I'm going to guess 2002.
2006.
Oh, okay.
So still on 20.
What was your score, by the way?
Well, I got 16 right, so 32, I suppose, was my score.
Oh, I thought I was going for 16. Oh, no. I need to get more.
You do. Well, yeah.
Focus.
Who became the first player to make a 147 in a Crucible final back in 2023?
Mark Selby.
Correct, 22. How many Crucible finals has John Higgins appeared in?
7?
Sadly, it's 8.
Oh, God, he's lost more than the 4.
Yeah, he lost 3 in a row from 17 to 19.
Poor Big Hig.
The World Championship moved to the Theatre of Dreams in 1977. Who won the event?
Ray Reardon?
No, it was John Spencer.
John Spencer, yeah.
Which Chinese player became the first world champion from his country with victory in last year's event?
Zhao Xintong.
Correct, 24. Okay, back to the first question then. What is the name of the individual responsible for originally taking the World Championship to the Crucible?
Oh, it's John something or Barry something or something like that. But I can't win anyway, Joe. So I may as well just guess a completely irrelevant answer because I can't win and I can't get a high score. So I'm going to guess, Joe, it was Rob Walker.
It was Mike Waterson.
No, I wouldn't have guessed. I wouldn't have got that. That's fine.
So 24 is your score, meaning you got 12 out of 20, which is a disappointing score for you, Tom. I expected better.
Shut off, mate.
So, I will quite happily put your score on there as 24, which, to be fair, puts you 4th on the leaderboard. So, there you go. Well done. Anyway, let us know how you did at home. I think if you got 20 out of 20 there, that is seriously good going. I don't think anybody's going to know the Luke Brissell question. And I do think there's some really tough ones. The Nigel Bond, Stephen Hendry one was really tough. I guess 2007. I knew it was 888.com sponsorship because I keep seeing it sort of replayed. So it was just a 1 in 3. The other one was the Lord of the Rings actor. You know, if you know, you know, I guess, on that one. That was a tough one. And then I guess the John Williams, you have to have some pretty good knowledge to get that that one there.
Arguably, I think people could argue that Ian McKellen and Trossard are not snooker questions.
I agree.
They're not going to appear in the WST quiz book. I'd be very surprised if they're
we don't know. We don't know.
They might.
We haven't read every page of this book yet. But yes, thank you for taking part in the quiz, Tom. And well, your copy of the programme will be in the post in the next couple of days.
I've got some things to post you as well.
Ooh,
our little
exciting.
Annual Crucible present. Me and Joe said about Christmas and Crucible, and the two things we do presents.
Christmas, yeah, of course. But yes, obviously there's going to be exciting things to come tomorrow. So we will catch you for that on what will be a manic Monday. And by the end of tomorrow, Tom, we will know the final 8 players in this year's World Championship.
I don't like this bit because it's coming near the end. Do you know what I mean? It's just, and it always seems to take ages to start, and then the next few rounds just go so quickly, and then it's over.
Yeah, well, I mean, a week tomorrow, Tom. we'll know who the 2026 World Champion's going to be. But plenty of frames to be played between now and then. So we will see you tomorrow. And hope you've enjoyed. Let us know all of your thoughts down in the comments or on snookerloopypodcast@gmail.com. And we'll see you bright and early in the morning to review what is going to be a manic Monday at the Crucible.